Hi everyone, it's craftytinas, and today I'm going to show you how to make an organization for your metal dies. Now these are metal dies that you use to cut out images to make cards, scrapbooking, whatever you want to use them for. They're very neat to have around. They're very pretty designs. They also make very smooth edges, unlike a die cutting machine. So they're very, very nice. I have a cutting machine. I don't buy as many of these anymore, but I already have a collection and I still use them. And I use them along with my cutting machine because I will cut this out using a die and then add my sentiment using my cutting machine. So they do play well with other instruments in your craft room, so they're good to have around. If you are longtime paper crafter, you probably have these laying around. If you are new to paper crafting, you might want to check these out. There are so many different brands and styles, and fortunately the price of these have really gone down from when I started. When I started, you could only get a few different brands and they were kind of pricey, so when you did buy one, you used it a lot to get your money's worth. So let's check out what kind of organization we got for these. They are slippery, they are sharp, and they are sometimes tiny. Putting these in a box when you need one, you are going to be fumbling through it to try to find what you want. You can't get inspiration that way. So I found these envelopes with a magnetic sheet inside. I found it on Amazon. And this magnetic sheet holds the dies perfectly. And it also allows me to keep the sets together. Once you break them apart, you're going to want some way to keep them together because you may need to use them together. Like this is a happy birthday, a cake, a cupcake, and 2 gifts, some candles, and the happy birthday. I don't want to break up the set. I can use it with other dies, but I want to know what set it came with. And another important feature to this set is it came with stamps. The stamps fit in the dies. You simply stamp the cardstock, color it, do whatever you want, and then you cut it out using the dies. So you want to keep them together. So these little envelopes are perfect to hold the dies, and I can also hold the stamp with the die set. You can also put 2 die sets together. Once I take these apart, I don't want to keep track of these little guys. So now I can put them in here and hold it. The We R Memory Cinch is a wire binding machine that uses wires to bind books, but I like to play with it in different ways. So what I've made is my die holding pages. I simply put a piece of 3/4 inch cardstock inside the envelope before I punched the holes. Now the cover, in case you need to know or want to know, is 30-point chipboard covered in glitter adhesive from Dollar Tree. So it's a very thin adhesive, pretty glittery, shimmery. It doesn't feel like glitter, it feels like vinyl, but it has a very neat shine to it. I popped a few stickers on here, and then I punched holes in my envelopes. Now what I really love about this is I can flip through here and find what I want to make. Where's that die? Where did it go? Another thing is this is 1 flower. It takes all of these to make 1 flower. Sorry about the glare. That's better. So I put these on one side and added the picture from the packaging to the opposite page. So now I can look in this book and say, here's my sunflower, that's these. Here's the pink flower, that's those. And I can get inspiration just by flipping through the book. Some of these dies I've had for so long, I don't have the packaging anymore. Like this is a poinsettia, but I don't have the packaging. So I'm gonna go online, find the photo of it, print it out, and put it on this page so that when I'm flipping through here, I know exactly what this is based on the photo on this side. I love the fact that this is not only holding my little bitty dies in here nice and safe, but they're secure. I just simply open up the envelope, take out the magnetic page, use whatever dies I want, and then put it back. and there's no right or wrong way. I did not punch holes in my magnet. I added the strip just for extra stability, and I don't really think you need it. I just, for my peace of mind, I used it. It's 3/4 inch wide. I put it to the side of the envelope before I punched the holes. I also used 7/8 inch wire binding for this book. This book holds 10 packs. And when I say pack, I mean an envelope and the magnetic sheet. When you buy them online and you see a 20-piece set, they do not mean 20 complete sets. They mean 10 magnet sheets and 10 envelopes. So if you order 20, keep in mind you're only going to get 10. I made this book to hold 10 because they sell these in increments of 10. I bought 10 the first time, and then I went and bought 10 more, and I went back and bought a 20, which is technically a 40-piece, 20 clear and 20 magnets. So make sure if you're wanting 20, you buy the 40-piece. They run about $1 a piece. My 20-pack, 40-piece, but it only has 20 complete sets, was $20. $1 each is, to me, is more than worth it. I'm very happy with the storage solution this offers. I'm happy that I am going to be able to see what my dies do by putting in a page on this side. Trying to get rid of the glare for you guys. But it holds so many on one page. Now, the magnetic sheets are 7 inches. The envelopes themselves are 8 inches. Actually, they're like 7¼ inch. Almost 7½. So I made my book slightly, I mean barely larger than the envelopes. And when I say these envelopes are 8, they're not quite 8. So I made my book 8 exactly by 6 exactly. And it gave just enough edge that I'm happy with it. I have to make 3 more of these books, so stay tuned, and I will do another video of me actually punching the holes and adding the strip and then binding everything together. It was a really simple, easy, quick project. You could make the cover anything you want. It doesn't have to be sturdy, thick, heavy duty, because the pages themselves are heavy duty. So this book is nice, thick. 10 is pretty hefty. I mean, I wouldn't want to do 20 in a book. First of all, I don't think the wire binding would be big enough for 20, but that would be too heavy at one time. So I'm going to make 4 separate books. One of the reasons is I want to make one book with only flowers, one book with only frames, one book seasonal, such as, you know, putting the nativity scene or the happy birthdays and stuff like that, just so that I have some kind of organization, some type of separation going on with these. Now, if you are like me and sometimes you take your craft supplies, I take mine camping. I like to take dies when I'm camping because I don't use them often enough because I have so many other options in my craft room that I feel like if I take something camping that I don't get to use much, I'm more excited. So I do take a die cutting embossing machine, and I recently just got a second one because I found it at the thrift store for $10 and I couldn't pass it up. So now I have a machine to keep in the camper. So all I have to do is take my dies and I'm ready to go. So what I did was I had bought this. It's a tablet carrier or a book carrier, but it's that thick foam. I bought this and it was the wrong size and I really loved it, so I didn't want to send it back. I was keeping my dies in here, and you will be able to fit 2 books in here. This was a bag. I believe it was made for a 4x8 tablet or an 8-inch tablet, and it ended up being too small for what I wanted it. So it worked really good for these. And I was just putting these in here but I was having to flip through, and then when I pulled the whole stack out, they would fall apart. They would just slide all over the place because they're slippery. As you can see, they're not gonna stay put. Same thing with these. If you pick one or two up out of the pile, the rest are gonna go off the back of your table or your desk. So getting your craft items organized, to me, is one of the best ways to get creative, because I can look and see what options I have and where I might want to go with those options. So this is my way of organizing these metal dies. Again, you can get these at any craft store, and you can get them at Michael's. They usually come in sets, and you have to break them apart. But then you end up with 4 individual pieces that are going to get lost, hidden, taken away by the children. They sometimes come already broken apart, and you just simply have them in a Ziploc bag. To me, this was annoying because I couldn't see all the pieces. I like to mix and match my pieces. Like, I might want this holly leaf for something else, not for just the poinsettia. So there you have it. There's your options. When I go to do my next notebook, I will do a video on how I punched the holes and got it together. One final note is, make sure you trim the edge of your flap and tuck it inside before you punch your holes, because you don't want your flap going to the end on this side, because it would be in the way of the wires. This does not affect the performance of the envelope. It's just helping you put it in the wire binding and keeping it from getting in the way of the wires. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you know when I have more videos. Make sure you comment below what you think and how you would use it. If you store your dies some other way, put it in the comments below. Someone else might have another option or want to see other options. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Come back next time, and happy crafting.